He's been disgraced and replaced. But the troubles aren't over for Volkswagen's former CEO, Martin Winterkorn. US prosecutors say he defrauded the government, and they're launching criminal proceedings against him. Prosecutors in Germany also suspect Winterkorn and other members of the senior management of lying. They say he knew VW's cars did not meet pollution standards, yet he allowed the company to continue cheating on emissions tests.
In our recent investigation, we found indications that this knowledge was already known at an early point in time and should have been acted upon. We've added 2 suspects to this investigation, which are the former CEO of Volkswagen, Dr. Winterkorn, and a second board member.
The company has set aside $15 billion to buy back affected cars. As part of a settlement with US prosecutors, it's also agreed to spend the same amount on environmental projects. But if the former CEO is found guilty, VW may face more lawsuits for knowingly defrauding regulators and consumers. Winterkorn stepped down from the company's helm soon after the emissions scandal surfaced. More recently, the company's former brand chief was promoted to the top spot.
Restoring customers' trust will remain a task probably over years to come. We've lost a lot of trust because of diesel, especially here in Germany, but also across the world. It'll be a long way and a big task. I believe we have already done a lot.
But the snare of the US investigation is widening. Winterkorn is the 9th executive to be charged. And if the list of suspects continues to grow, Dice's plans to stay in the driver's seat and get Volkswagen back on the road could hit a dead end. Arabella Munro, TRT World.
Our editor-at-large, Craig Copetas, joins us from Paris now. Hello, Craig. Great to see you, as always. How unusual is this case?
It's about as unusual as it gets. Winterkorn and 5 other Germans, when the United States were charged with conspiracy and wire fraud. This smacks of racketeer, influenced and corrupt organized crime statutes that are used to nab mob bosses like Al Capone. And to make matters even worse for Herr Winterkorn and his sidekicks, Attorney General Jeff Sessions said that he intends to prosecute these gentlemen to the full extent of the law. This is extremely serious.
So what you're saying, Craig, is that there's a question mark over whether these executives can be extradited from Germany.
Well, this is where it gets very interesting, as our Herr Winterkorn and his colleagues, believe it or not, could end up like Julian Assange. The German Constitution does not contain any provisions for extraditing any German citizens unless the extradition is to an EU nation or to an international court. Constitutionally, these guys are protected in Germany. Now, Volkswagen's lawyers, I'm told, have been continually warning all executives at the company from Germany not to go to the United States, lest they be nabbed like VW executive Oliver Schmidt when he went to Florida on vacation. Mr. Schmidt is now serving 7 years and had to pay a $400,000 fine.
So the dragnet is quite real then for these guys. Look, if it's proven that Winterkorn was a party to conspiracy, to fraud, VW could face even more claims to damages from shareholders. Are the calls by shareholders for a complete overhaul of the board likely to get louder?
I believe they will, and I believe that Volkswagen will continue to say that they've cleaned up the mess. Perhaps they have, but Volkswagen's officials are still dealing with this very close to the vest. Now, there is something to look at here which we can compare it to. Many, many years ago, Audi, before it became part of Volkswagen, got into a similar situation with faulty gear that actually led to deaths of Audi drivers in the United States. The brand Audi was a useless brand, but the company brought it back after one of the biggest disasters in global automotive history. So Volkswagen, being the largest automotive manufacturer in the world, can certainly do the same thing. But you know what, Ash? It's going to cost them a lot of money.
It's going to be very interesting to watch indeed. Craig Copetas in Paris, thank you so much.